What's up, guys? Another episode of Lights Camera Collect coming at you right now. This is your host, of course, WillFoxification, the one and only. I got two of my best bros here tonight. Normally, this is a one-on-one show, but I knew I couldn't just have Carlos because I have no idea what he's going to say. So I got to keep Riley here to keep Carlos in check.
Gotta balance it.
Balance the scales, bro. We've been watching Moon Knight, so the scales, the balance, you always try to find that balance in there. So, and if I balance out Carlos, it's got to be with Riley. But guys, before we address the chat and get into all of our wonderful topics of the evening, I have to address our wonderful panelists. Carlos, dude, I give you a hard time, but you're still one of my best bros, dude. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, and I'm your number one best friend. Let's make sure that's clear.
Optical, don't listen, bro. Optical, don't listen. Cover your ears. Yeah.
Best friend within the same age.
Well, after you told me about the chair thing, then...
Get out of here with the chair, bro.
By the way, if you get your... Joker before me, I'm gonna be upset.
I'm gonna get it tomorrow. I'm telling you.
I'm messaging Josh. I'm messaging Josh right now, bro.
This is a problem. Mine says delivered tomorrow between 2 and 6. Josh clearly likes me. It's okay.
Yeah, because I messaged him and I was like, put Carlos at the bottom. I was like, so yeah, I don't know if I told you guys. So people listening and Riley, the J&D Joker is coming from Comic Concepts soon. Carlos and I both got it, and Carlos is going to get his sooner because he's out closer to Josh, and I'm further away. So I'm probably not going to have mine for a while. But
dude, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. Then I'm gonna do the collection tour. But Riley, dude, your collection's looking real nice back there. How you doing today, dude?
Thank you, man. I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm appreciative of being your youngest best friend, number one best friend. But I'm having a great day.
Don't listen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Close your ears. Close your ears. But thanks for the invite. First time on here. Let's have some fun. Let's go,
dude. It's gonna be a blast, man. So before we get into the topics, though, and trust me, guys, there are a lot of them, and we're gonna try to get through as many as we can. But let's address the chat. Two Ferns. What's up, everyone? Lee O'Reilly. Oh, he's addressing Two Ferns. Nice. Yeah. Let's see here. Maniac UK, CT603, Alex B, Gilbert Almazan, Sean Bean in the house, Ant-Man himself. Dude, I was just reading some Moon Knight. Nice, man. Nice. Bob Dylan in the house. What's up, Bob Dylan? Yeah, TGI Friday, man. That's what this show is all about. TGI Friday. Marco Polo, DT Artman, Doc Smizzle, Dr. Brett Banner. Nice, dude. Comics, KG, currently on set with Lael. Dude, I hope if anything, Lael's hooking you up with some perks there, and you're giving him his 10%. So
there you go.
Let's see. Yeah, what is that name? Otaku Samurai? Yeah, I think I got that.
There you go. Good job.
Hey, there we go. Hey, I'm a professional. I'm cultured. Let's see. R. Castro in the house. Let's see. Oh, I'm here. Collectible chats, afternoon. And DJ N with the super chat already, bro. Yo, what's up? DJ N, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you. The Thor said stop for a little bit to say what's up. Dude, thanks so much, Thor. Appreciate you, man.
What's up, man?
Guys, let's go ahead and jump into the first topic because something dropped today. And it's been a little controversial. Let's say that. Because, dude, there's a lot of questions of legitimacy going on right now. And the reason I want to show this is because this is the picture that Queen Studios released, right? They showed this. They said, okay, here's what's going on. We're releasing a Gandalf. It's going to be 1/6 scale. It looks like Gandalf the Grey to me because it says Fellowship of the Ring. So if anything, I'm going to assume that it's Gandalf the Grey and not Gandalf the White if they're being accurate, which I'm pretty sure they are. So on face value, guys, are you excited about this figure? And I'll start with you, Carlos, before we get into the fakeness or legitimacy of this, which we will show. What do you think, man? Is this a figure you think you would find yourself picking up?
So I've always said, or actually before I started getting into the statues and all of that, I always really wanted 1/6 figures that were for Lord of the Rings. But I felt like I really didn't want Asmus because it's the quality isn't there, right? It's literally ass. You know what I mean? So that's really good. So now that they're making it, it depends how good it is. And I'm definitely excited to see how it comes out. I don't know if I will get it. I feel like personally, I would want a 1/3 statue of him and Legolas over a 1/6 figure. But that's me. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent, I guess, at this point, or even torn, I guess. I don't know if I would honestly get it, even if they were to make this, or once it releases, I guess I should say.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because dude, I think you're definitely on the 1/3 kick right now. Because yeah, 1/3 is your scale, bro. That's your scene.
So. It's the best statue, right? It's like 1/2 is too small, too big. I'm sorry. Quarter scale is just it's just okay. It's like the entry level for statues. It's like and then 1/3, in my opinion, is the best scale for statues overall. At least that's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean, bro. It's a really, really nice scale. But Riley, dude, with this Gandalf, I feel that feeling with you, it's probably not going to excite you very much because you don't really watch Lord of the Rings, do you?
No, man, I haven't seen one Lord of the Rings yet. Not one of them. So,
Dude, come on.
sorry.
Why
You've seen
not though,
Clone
Riley?
Wars.
Why not, man?
I don't know, man. It's super long. I'm a busy man, bro. I got other stuff to do, you know. But no,
Yeah.
that's an excuse. I gotta watch them for sure because you guys keep telling me to watch it. I gotta check it out. I mean, KG he fell asleep, so that's all I'll say. So
We can't trust
he's not
KG
giving
though,
me.
bro.
I can't trust him, man. I can't trust him. But no, dude, this looks amazing. Just in general, I'll have to watch the films and see if I like build up the connection to Gandalf. But to me, it's like it's probably gonna be a pass for now. But I have to check out the films and see if I'm really. But even if I were to, I don't know if I would be able to like justify spending that much money because obviously Queen's going to be more expensive. But I mean, I have to see the films. But from face value, this looks incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just even a silhouette of him, and it looks like phenomenal. And in comparison to Asmus, it's definitely it trumps in comparison to that one. But it looks amazing nonetheless, for sure.
And I want to show you guys something before we move on from it, because this is really the most controversial part. I feel like this is posted actually by Zach, Aux Daddy from Collecting Weekly.
Mm-hmm.
So take a look at that. This is what I'm talking about, the questions of legitimacy. I think there's a lot going on in terms of like the people are saying that this is actually a photoshopped photo, like from, and actually I'm pretty sure this photo promo shot is from The Hobbit, not actually from Lord of the Rings. So, you know, and that's the interesting part, because this is obviously a Fellowship of the Ring Gandalf. It's a, you know, very first film, very first installment. So yeah, do you guys think that this is a promo shot that they photoshopped or edited here, or is this an actual figure? I'll start with you, Carlos, again. What do you think?
Yeah, so obviously with Queen Studios reopening that 3-day window, right? A lot of people were upset. They got a lot of backlash. I mean, what's the Queen Studios name? Rep's name? John?
Oh, John, yeah.
John. He was everywhere. Poor guy. He was putting in some overtime for Queen Studios. But I just don't see, like, I think it looks like it was photoshopped, right? And it doesn't look. It looks like it was the actual photo or whatever used, and it's not the figure. I just don't see how. Even talking with Riley and even thinking about it, it's like they would have to be really stupid to not use an actual figure and maybe add some, details afterwards or whatnot. I just don't see how they would be that done to open up the 3-day window and do this on top of it. Because let's just pretend this really wasn't the picture of the figure, right, or the silhouette. Can you imagine the backlash that they're gonna get, right? So I don't know. I mean, at this point, I'm gonna lean on Queen Studios isn't dumb enough to do this, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that it is the figure, and they just did a lot of Photoshop to make it look like the promo shot. That's what I'm gonna say for now, but I just don't think a company can be this dumb, honestly.
Right.
I just don't think so.
Because it would create a lot of, it's already creating a lot of hysteria, and people don't even know for sure yet.
Right.
So,
can you imagine?
Yeah. So Riley, what do you think, man? How are you feeling about this? Are you getting kind of squirmish here? Like, does this look like a fake shot to you?
Honestly, I don't think that it's fake. I'm kind of with the same thing with Carlos. Like, I don't think that they'd be dumb enough to do this, especially with all the controversy that's going on with the Joker. I don't think it makes sense for this to be a fake promo shot. And if they know people are smart, they know 1/6 collectors are very, very finicky about their stuff. I feel like they would expect people to find this out. Like, I don't think this is something that they could have just like, oh, let's sneakily get this photo from a real shot of him and just let's edit it and make it. And I don't even think that was even necessary. They didn't even have to post this right now. So to me, I don't think that it's a fake photo and it's Photoshop. It might be like a little bit Photoshop, but I think the figure is there for sure. That's what I'll say.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It's definitely a situation. So it's something to monitor and sure. But I mean, they're going to reveal this figure soon. On Sunday, they're having that live stream where they're revealing everything anyway. So it's really, we're going to know then. But Ant-Man in the house said, bro, Ezra Miller got arrested again. Yeah, he did.
Oh man, dude,
that's a rough situation right now.
Do we know why?
Miller. Dude, there was something with a couple that he like threatened to kill or something. I don't know.
He's always in problems, bro.
Yeah, he had issues before too. So I know there have been discussions from what I've heard about there's watching like John Campy and other videos about like possibly replacing him, and we'll see. But it's probably too late for the Flash Batman film. Like they're gonna have to go with that one. So yeah, it's a mess. But thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate Ant-Man. So guys, let's move on to something that I think we're all kind of in agreement about this one. But I'm interested to see because I know Carlos and I talked a little bit about this, but Riley, I do want to start with you on this one.
Okay.
With this Scarlet Witch, man, this is going to be something that's probably going to cost around what Loki cost, right? Loki was 1,100. This looks like it's real materials again. It's going to be something that's going to be up there in price for a quarter scale statue. It looks like they already put an edition size on it too, at least for maybe that market.
Did Loki have an edition size?
No, it's TBD.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they thought Loki would be more popular, and they just want to leave it open and see how many pre-orders they get. And with this one, but Scarlet Witch is very popular too.
I was gonna say, yeah, she's popular.
Yeah, she's super popular. So Riley, do you like what you see from this so far? Because I think I also have another photo that shows the sculpt a little closer.
Yeah, I think that photo makes it look a lot better. I think the photo beforehand, though, I think there is some issues. I don't know like what it exactly is. It might be like something with like her forehead or something. Like I don't know, something just looks off to me a little. But I don't think it looks like obviously really bad. I think it's still there. I'd probably give it like probably an 8 out of 10, 8.5. It's still her from the movie. I can totally see it. But I don't know if I'm crazy about like the whole base and the materials that look on the hands. I feel like to me it looks like a little bit like cheap. I don't know. And maybe I'm crazy, but it just looks like it's not like detailed a lot. Maybe the base looks pretty cool, but I think the things on our hands need a little bit more detailing. But in general, I think fans of Scarlet Witch should definitely pick this up. It's cool how it's limited. I think that was cool how they added that in. But I mean, it's really cool looking piece. But I'm probably gonna have to pass on it because I just don't have enough connection to pick her up.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool piece too. But for the price of what you're paying, I think you gotta love Scarlet Witch. Like seriously. So I don't know. And the sculpt, and I think it's good. I'm with you, Riley. I think it's about an 8. Like I do like this, and from this angle, it does look better. But if we're expecting even maybe a slight decline from proto to final, then you might not be happy with what you paid for this. So unless they improve it, which they totally could. But it's definitely not terrible. So Carlos, what do you think, man? Are you kind of where we're at on this one?
A little bit. I mean, I would give the sculpt a 7.5 and 8, right? But we all know that most of the time, not all the time, right? I mean, from this angle, it looks good, but then she's kind of looking down, right, at you. You know what I mean? So this is a better angle, but that's not the angle you're gonna get from the statue. You know what I mean? So I would say 7.5 and 8. And honestly, most of the time the prototype tends to be the better one. So we might, if we do see a decline, this could be easily a 7 out of 10. If this is $1,200 or even $1,000, I don't think that even if you must be a super fan, and maybe that makes you like, maybe there's only like 400 of them, and that's why it's so limited. Because I don't know how many people would like. If you're gonna spend $1,200 and you're gonna have those cheap looking effects on the hands and on the base, which I agree with Riley, I feel like you should just stick with the hot toy one. They've already updated the head sculpt. It looks better, is a better value. I mean, $1,200 or even $1,000 just for rooted hair. I don't see the value here. Everything else is cool, it's fine, but I don't see why you would, unless you really love her, I guess, but I just don't see why someone would want to really get this when the hot toy is just that much better at that point. You know what I mean? We're not talking like this a 1/3 or anything. It's like it's a quarter scale, it's great, but it's man, those effects look really cheap to me too. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't like this at all. The sculpt is okay. I don't see one. I would say this should be a pass for most.
Right. But I understand what you mean. Yeah, I like it. I like it overall. The effects, I don't know. I'm kind of like maybe in the between you guys. I don't think they look super cheap, but I'm not over the moon with them. Yeah. It's not like Loki's scepter that I think looks really realistic. Right. And really great.
Right.
You know?
I just feel like they've done better with effects than this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So.
They definitely have. So for me, man, I'm gonna say this is a pass for me, but for some people, I think you're right, Carlos. I think this almost falls in the line of the Hot Toys is there, and like the Hot Toys is probably better. Yeah. So, but it's a matter of like if you really love statues and you really love this character, then she looks great still. And I think they hopefully will improve the head sculpt a bit. So.
For sure.
Remains to be seen, man. But I'm kind of with you guys on this one. I'm kind of so on it.
You have to be a really big Scarlet fan to really pick up this statue and oversee a lot of the things going on with them. But have they announced the price yet?
Not yet.
No. Okay, so I mean, maybe if it's like 900 or something, I don't know. Maybe then that's okay.
I doubt it though. I feel like it'll be like at least like 1,100.
I agree, but so then you're saying, okay, what, I get a Loki with rooted hair, real leather suit, or this one would, has some okay effects and
Right.
subpar head sculpt. So
Right.
yeah,
I'm with you, man. So
yeah.
here's what we're gonna do next, guys. We got to talk about Moon Knight. Because
Ooh, now we're getting good.
see this figure, bro. This figure, man. It's funny. Like me and my girlfriend and I watched this episode last night. So we watched the second
Oh,
episode.
really?
Dude, it was really good. I really liked it.
Me too.
The first episode was good too. I like the second even a little bit more. I still am a little confused, but I think I'm kind of catching on. I think they explained a lot more in the second episode than they did the first one.
Right. I think it's supposed to be confusing, but I kind of like that.
I kind of
better than Loki, though, right?
What'd you say?
Better than Loki?
No.
Come on, bro.
Nah, bro. It's not. It's not.
It is.
You know
it
this,
is.
bro. Nah,
No.
Well, the first 2 episodes of Loki were like complete gold. I think it starts to go down a little bit after that, but the first 2 episodes are really good, man. So.
Okay.
Nothing's ever gonna top that, bro. Carlos, you know you agree with me, man. Just go with it.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do, man. I know you do.
Get the statue, Carlos. Come on.
I know. Get
What?
the Loki, bro. Get the Loki statue.
Get the Loki.
No, never happening. I'm waiting for a 1/3. We've been over this.
I know it's gonna happen, dude. It's gonna happen.
It is.
But Carlos, you don't even collect 1/6 anymore, do you? Are you gonna get this Moon Knight? Because I have a feeling you might.
All right. So, do I collect 1/6?
Nah.
Yeah, some
Yes.
things, right? Like some Iron Man. We all know I love Iron Man, and that's okay. And then I like vehicles and stuff and all that. But man, this figure looks really good. I don't know. Some people are saying it looks like Marvel Legend, Mafia. I know a lot of people are saying, it doesn't look that good, and I get that. But man, this is a sexy ass figure, man. Like honestly, and maybe photos, people are like, oh, it looks too plasticky. Like this is one of those that's just super unique. I'm gonna pick it up and I'm just gonna have it. I'm not gonna pre-order anything. I'm not gonna do it. I'm hoping that a statue comes out before this figure comes out, so I don't have to get it and I can just get the better version of it.
Right.
But man, this is great. And I think everyone should go and pick it up because I say you should pick it up because it's really good.
That's all you need.
It's really great. It's going to be good. And those eyes, people are like, oh, well, I don't know how bright it is. It's going to be bright enough. All right. That's all you need to know.
Right.
It's going to be good. And it's like, even when it's not lit, it's still white. So it still looks really, really good. Yeah, man. I give this figure 9 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10 because I really like the figure. I don't see how else they could have done it. And the only reason it's not a perfect score for me, one, because they don't have the head sculpt. Because if it would have had the head sculpt, man, that would have been great.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. That's why I would always caution people in this specific case, and really any case, to hold off on pre-ordering because there was another version in the second episode that was kind of cool. I won't spoil too much. And also one with the head sculpt. That's probably coming at some point. I feel like they're going to do something where you're going to get a Oscar Isaac head sculpt. So people who pre-order this might be like, oh man, I wish I'd waited. And this one, we shouldn't pre-order Hot Toys anyway right now. But I say totally wait because, wait till release. But this thing is amazing. I'm with you, Carlos. Riley, what do you think about it?
Oh yeah, I'm on the same thing. I think it looks phenomenal. I've heard the same thing with how it looks a little bit cheap or Marvel Legends like, but I just personally I totally disagree. From every one of these shots,
I do too.
It really just looks like I feel like I'm looking at like a poster of him. Like I don't think it looks like a toy. It looks really good. I totally and I like how they added the wired cape. I mean, I hope I don't know if they added that in the description because sometimes Hot Toys like they have photos that are wired, but in the final product it's not wired. But it looks wired enough here, so I think it's gonna be made. And it looks like it has like a really like good wire because it looks like they're really high in the shots, which is really cool. And I think it was like, I think it's like $285, right? Retail.
285.
Yeah, 285.
Yeah. I think that was like, I think that's fine, but I think it is a little bit pricey, like $285 for what you're getting. I think it should have been like $270 or something, but I don't know. That's kind of more being nitpicky.
I think the base.
I think it's that moon base.
Yeah, that's true. Because I just feel like there's not a lot of accessories other than just the little spear things.
The rings,
yeah.
I heard
it's a
complaining about the base though, that they didn't like the base or it was pointless.
I think the base is awesome.
It
it was like I don't know if being pointless, but
when you have that in the shelf, like it's gonna look really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a space killer, but it is really, really nice. I'm happy they included it. So so this is probably a buy for both you guys then.
For sure. Yeah, I'll buy it.
Carlos, just wait till release, bro, and then decide.
I'm waiting to release, yes. Because again, if they make a statue, even a quarter scale, I might break my 1/3 rule and go get the statue for this. Because this looks great. Dude, I went back and I don't want to kill it for anyone, but I kept seeing those specific scenes from the second episode over and over because I was like, this is a badass character. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And in my opinion, it's gonna be better when it's all said and done. But the best Marvel show, and depending what happens at that point.
It depends though, yeah.
Nah, bro,
because-
you get the buzzer.
Nothing's better than Loki, man. Come on.
Loki started really high, and then it
Loki
became
did start
Boba
high.
Fett towards the end. You know what I mean? And then, but this one was
That
just
might
good.
Nah,
happen
that's
here,
fair.
though.
The
It
show
might-
is
it
really
might-
good so
yeah.
far. It's fair.
It might fall flat
Yeah.
near the end though. We don't know, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
It is really good so far. But Denobi's
It
announced, bro. $325 with tax and shipping. Not if you shop in the right places, Denobi.
I don't
You
know, man. I
this.
haven't paid
Come on,
taxes
Denobi.
in a long time.
Come on, Denobi. Come on, you know this. You know this. Yeah. So, but it's really great, man. I think this is probably going to be a get for me as well. But I'm going to wait the 2 years,
Yeah.
whatever, until it releases, and then decide.
5 years. Yeah.
I don't see the Marvel Legends comparisons personally because I've never like. You don't really get Marvel Legends that are fabric. They're all sculpted. They might have a little fabric cape or something, but that's about it. Like this.
It's-
Yeah.
I think I
because
think people
it's
just
because
wanted
the-
it. Yeah, they wanted the chest to be fabric, right?
Right.
But the fact
Right.
that it's plastic,
Right.
it's like people are saying
and
it
the
makes it look
helmet,
a
right?
toy.
People are complaining that the hood isn't it's sculpted. Like
That's
if-
good though. It stays in
it-
place nicely.
If you've ever
That's what I'm
put on
saying.
a real hood on a figure, it's really hard to make it look
It
really
sucks.
good.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like,
And if it was fabric, it wouldn't like sit right. I don't think.
Right.
There's
No, I
not a
don't think so
reason that they
either.
did that. They
It's the
just
same
didn't do it just
argument.
because. Yeah.
it's the same argument with like sculpted hair, rooted hair, right? People want sculpted because it's in place. You don't have to mess with it. This is
Yeah.
kind of the same thing. You know what I mean? And it is a figure at the end of the day. But to compare to Marvel Legend, I think at that point, Mafia, you're just hating on the figure
Mafia.
or Marvel
He's
at that
always-
point.
Dude, you
Anthony
should have
gets
seen
the
yesterday, dude.
Anthony
That
gets
was
the buzzer,
hilarious.
bro.
Get the buzzer, man. Come on.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we all love this figure, so it's pretty badass, dude.
Yeah.
But guys, you don't have to talk about this because this is something that for sure Carlos knew I was gonna bring this up because I just love Shang-Chi so much and I love the character of Wenwu. And seriously, guys, and look at Bob Dylan in the chat, bro, dropping that. Seriously. I mean,
Dude.
the prototype was pretty good. Thanks, Bob Dylan, by the way. Shout out to you, man. I didn't know that it was there until the show. But the original proto and then versus the updated proto, dude, miles better. If you've seen
Oh,
Tony
yeah.
Leung in the film, like, dude, this is great. So, Riley, what do you think about this, man? Is Wenwu a figure you're going to pick up?
Oh, 100%. I loved him in the movie, dude. I love Shang-Chi. I think he was like one of the best villains I've ever seen on screen. He was really good. I liked his whole story and his origin. So I need to get this figure. And I really like how they updated it. It's really cool. It's like they made him like, because I remember when we first saw this, we were like, oh yeah, it's good. But like once you saw Shang-Chi and Wenwu, Shang-Chi was like perfection. Like it was like one of the best things ever. But when you see this, you're like, oh, it's like not the same, but I love how they did do this because it's just going to make the display way more iconic because I like how they made him look like, I think they like aged him up and they did a lot of good fixes that was necessary for sure. I think it's like, it's definitely like a 9.5, like a 10. It's an amazing sculpt. I'm definitely going to get it for my collection. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm happy that they did this update showing that they want to make sure that they're still the big dogs in the community because a lot of this other companies with competition, that's probably a big factor why they did that.
Yeah, I think so too, man. There's got to be some reason, and I think maybe the competition in the market, which we're going to get into a little bit later. But dude, I'm over the moon with how good this looks now. I think it's reaching the Shang-Chi levels, like it's getting close to that, where it's like, okay, this is almost as good as that figure now. And then when you have them next to each other fighting or whatever, right, they're going to look incredible. But I already pre-ordered this, and this was before my no-post strategy.
Dude,
but I pre-ordered
you
and paid
drove home,
this.
bro.
What'd you say?
You drove home and bought
I did.
it right
Do you
away.
remember
right?
that? I literally went to the theater that night, and I was like, dude, I got to rush home to pre-order this thing because the movie was so
It's
good.
gonna sell out.
I know it's going to sell out.
right?
It's gonna sell- I'm a
Sell
new
out.
collector. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I did rush home and pre-order it, and it's still available, unfortunately. So even
get
after
first day batch?
even after the 3-day window. So I'm gonna get myself in trouble again.
Did you do the first day batch or first batch? for
No.
this?
I got it from Alter Ego Comics.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, Carlos, are you getting this, man?
So this is a difficult one too, right? Because it looks really good. So this is a 9.5, 10. And I was talking to Riley this when I was owning him in Battlefront, and I was telling him that most characters that die in a movie, and I'm sure there's a few like Killmonger, and I'm sorry, and or a few others that once they die, that character or that figure tends to go up really well in value. And you know me, right?
I do.
I'm a whore for exclusivity. Like, let's just be honest, I am what I am, right? So this is one of those that like he's dead. They're not going to reissue him.
Spoiler.
And it looks really good. I mean, if you haven't seen the movie by now,
come on, dude.
Come on, dude. Come on. All right. Anyway, but
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
yeah. So I mean, he just looks really great. He looks really great. Let's just be honest. And I think it's one of those that I'll pick up just because I know he's going to be really rare because I'm that kind of person. And that's okay. But I think it looks great. It's 9.5, 10 out of 10 for me. It's perfect all around.
It's damn good, dude. It's really, really good. And I thought the proto, I would have been happy with the proto. It's obviously not perfect, but I totally would have. I'm thrilled with what they did here.
And I want to add that even though this is a 10 out of 10, and everyone that's listening, I still would not pre-order this because it's gonna sit. Everything's gonna sit. I do see this being a really great piece because again, the movie was great in my opinion. The head sculpt is great. Everything's really good about the figure. And again, they're probably not going to reissue this type of character. So if you want to collect from more rarity, because I think we all as collectors kind of have that a little bit in us, then I think this would be a really great piece. With that said, it's going to sit because every figure is sitting. So this will not be an exception. So I would
literally everything. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, literally everything. Even the most popular figures are going to sit right now.
For sure.
So yeah, pretty crazy. But Wenwu, man, I'm really excited about that one. I've talked about something that I know none of us are getting. But we have to at least mention it. Right?
I'm getting it.
You're getting it, Riley. It's gonna take up your whole room, bro. Literally, like I think true. This thing, it's funny in the photos, it doesn't look that massive. But when you look at this thing like on display, it's literally gigantic. Because it's a 1-to-1 of Sauron, who's huge. You know, Carlos, I have the quarter scale, and the quarter scale is massive, right? You put this guy in 1-to-1, it still is only half of his body, but this thing is massive. And it does, I'll show people, retail for about little under 5,000, and the shipping spec put for 600 to 900, right? So you're paying damn near 6,000 out the door.
And if you're in California, you're going to get taxed on that too.
Right. You're going to get taxed on this thing. Like
another 600.
Not saying it's not beautiful. It's incredible. But literally, if it fell over on you, you might die. Like it's like really sharp and massive.
It is.
So, Carlos, I'll go with you on this one first. That's a human being standing there, a normal size human being.
Oh my God.
So I saw this and I'm like, okay, so it's 4 feet wide. It's like 48 inches.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite number, 69 inches tall. Right. So it's
perfect number.
Perfect number. Yes. It's like 5'9" or something like that. It's a massive piece and it looks amazing. If you have if you're gonna buy this, please, and you're in California or really local, be my friend. I want to go see it in person. I'll invite you to the games that Will and I play, and we'll connect really well. But this is a beautiful piece. I only know maybe one person who will get it. Not me, because I just don't have the space for it. Maybe if I don't know, if I make Becca sleep on the couch or something, maybe I can
listen up, Becca. You know the rules.
You know what I mean? Like maybe something like that. I just don't see it, but it's a beautiful piece, though. Can you imagine if someone was to do a life size though?
Yeah, dude. A life size Joker was like what, under 12,000? A life size Sauron would probably be 20. He's 20,000.
It's a car at that point.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's a car.
It's
massive. Beautiful, though. Beautiful. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan, I think you should sell all of your Star Wars stuff and go get this piece.
Oh my God. I'm selling it all, bro.
Sell Star Wars stuff. Well, I got quarter scale Sauron. I'm happy with that.
That's a beautiful piece.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah. And by the way, Riley, Carlos mentioned the couch, but he didn't mention me staying on his couch and cooking me breakfast. So
oh, really?
I'm not cooking you breakfast, bro.
Bro, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. The people need to know that if I go to Star Wars Celebration, I'm staying with you and I get a nice hearty breakfast every morning.
No, I've offered Will cuddles at night and in the morning.
Oh my God.
He's accepted this.
But
he wants
I think Will said he was more afraid than accepting. He said he didn't want to go.
Well, I was afraid of what Carlos would do to me. Yeah, but
he's afraid, but he's excited. It's one of those things. He's afraid how much he'll love it. Like that's really
there you go.
That's true. But Riley, dude, this Sauron bus. No, you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, but what do you think about this? I know it's pricey, but what are your overall thoughts?
Day one.
Dopo?
Dopo, bro. No, dude, this looks phenomenal. I mean, like I always see this character like brought up a lot. So I mean, clearly he has like an iconic moment in the film. So I'm definitely gonna check out the film. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, when you showed the quarter scale statue, like you showed the helmet and it was like this big.
Yeah,
like, it fit like your whole screen. So like
Right.
I can't even imagine getting a life size. Like it's gonna be absolutely like mental. Like to be honest, I commend anyone for getting it. It looks phenomenal. I just, yeah, it's never going to come in my collection, but I can appreciate it. And like Carlos said, if anybody's got it, I need to check this out in person because it's going to look awesome.
It's interesting that Riley looking, and Carlos, look at this angle. He looks thin from this angle. I didn't see this before.
He does.
Like, but from other angles, he doesn't.
Yeah.
But there he looks fine.
Yeah. Well, you have to remember everything looks bigger close up. You know, so from far away, it's going to look a little thinner. Why do you always laugh?
Bro, why are you thinking like that?
That was Carlos, bro, not me. I knew where you were going.
I saw
with
Will
that.
smirking. I saw Will smirking.
You saw it too, right? I'm
like, I saw it.
Because you said everything looks bigger closer up, bro. You know this.
You have that dirty mind. Come on.
Yeah,
bro.
Nah, bro. Looks bigger closer up.
Images are closer than they appear in your rearview mirror. That's what I was laughing at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, Riley, have you really not seen The Lord of the Rings there? Still haven't seen it?
No.
How many times have you seen Clone Wars?
I've seen it like once.
Can you forget Clone Wars and go watch
too many? Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm just kidding. But guys, we need to talk about this because we mentioned this a little bit with Wenwu and what they've done with the Batman too. Hot Toys is kind of doing this. They do this sometimes, but they're doing kind of this new thing almost where they're, at least they haven't done it in a long time, like they're starting to refine head sculpts from prototypes. So I would assume that eventually we're going to see a Doc Ock update. So are we expecting Hot Toys to make this kind of the status quo moving forward? I don't know if this is maybe inspired, influenced by Queen Studios or something related, right? Who knows, really? But I'm wondering if we're expecting that. Like what we just saw with Wenwu and with the Batman update, are we expecting to see Hot Toys start to refine pre-order head sculpts that maybe aren't garnering the type of attention and public perception that they're going for? So Riley, I'll start with you on this one. Do you expect Hot Toys to like kind of change a little bit or evolve?
I think that they'll definitely change. I mean, I still agree that like I don't think that we would have seen the Wenwu or we would have seen the Batman updated if it wasn't for Queen being in the industry right now and talking like everyone's talking about Queen at the past like 2 weeks have all been talked about Queen. So I think that Hot Toys are doing stuff like this to show that they have a hand still in collecting and that they're still like the OGs in collecting. But I don't know. I'd probably expect them to refine head sculpts like you said with like, but I don't know if like they do it with every single one because like a lot of the prototypes they do show are already so good. Like I don't know how they can even update it further. But at the end of the day, I think that they're doing this, yeah, like you said about competition and like you said with Doc Ock, I don't really know why they would do like they would update Wenwu and not like a figure like Doc Ock because that one was like everyone was like that was the biggest controversy that week. Everyone was talking about how it looked terrible, it looked okay, it looked all right. So I don't know why they didn't go for like updating stuff like that. Maybe it's a later pre-order, so they didn't worry about it yet. But to me, it's definitely interesting. And even with this Batman one here, it's like a work in progress. It was definitely surprising for everyone to see this and like how they even have a paragraph just talking about it because Hot Toys obviously are never communicated with the community. So, and the fact that they're doing stuff like this with photos and talking about it in paragraphs, it really makes you think about future pre-orders and what they're going to be doing in the future for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty interesting because the fact, like you said, Riley, is a good point that they're actually communicating. That's definitely a little bit different. I mean, they don't really post updates like this very frequently since I've been in the collecting game a few years now. So from what I've seen, they don't really seem to communicate that freely and that openly. But this one, they did, which was very interesting. It's a weird timing. I don't know if it's influenced by Queen Studios. Maybe Hot Toys just said, okay, we're listening to community feedback. We're going to try something different. I don't know. It's hard to say. But Carlos, are you expecting Hot Toys to kind of like refine things more and be open about it?
So being open, I would think so. I would think they will. So I see Hot Toys kind of like Apple, right? They're the best ones when it comes down to 1/6, right? Because I know a lot of us are, Queen Studios is gonna, push Hot Toys, to the side, or they're gonna be a lot better. I don't know. I don't think a lot of us really know what is better than Hot Toys, because and a lot of the stuff the Queen is doing, I'm pretty sure Hot Toys could do or is even doing, right? If they really wanted to. I think Hot Toys would probably just sit in because I mean, even a year ago or 2 years ago, some of the things that I heard from a lot of collectors were, if Hot Toys was just to communicate with us or let us know some of the things they're doing, that's really their only flaw. right? But now that they're seeing what Queen is doing and seeing some of the mistakes the Queen is doing, like, you know, maybe they're a little too open, right? And so many people are just going after them. So, and I think they're seeing the, you know, the negatives of what Queen is doing, and maybe they're going to say, hey, this is a good thing, right? They were the first to take the plunge, and we can make that better as far as communicating, but still limiting the community on how they're going to communicate with us, at least. So I think we can see a lot more of these specifically, but only for specific figures that matter, like Doc Ock. I don't think that you'll see like an improvement for Peacemaker. And if they do a Peacemaker fix, then at that point, then that's really when you know, okay, like they're here, you know what I mean? They're just trying to flex on everybody at that point, but I don't see that happening. But yeah, I mean, it's great for the community at this point, you know, what they're doing and where they're trying to go with it, because this looks really great. And I don't know. I mean, at that point, it's like, I know Queen released one and, you know, Hot Toys did one too, but like once this is painted, like I guess we're going to be able to tell who's going to be better, right? But hopefully they keep doing more of this for a lot of their figures. So
for sure.
Yeah, man. I'm just excited to see more of this kind of stuff, because what they did with this Wenwu, man, I just feel like that's exactly what we've been wanting and looking for all this time. Yeah, sometimes they update them anyway. Like Ray, a lot of people were happy with, you know, compared to what the proto was.
Wanda too, right?
Yeah, Kylo Ren. Wanda. Yeah, Wanda. Yep.
You know what would be a really good one though? It would be Barbie Ken, the Luke. If they were to fix that one and make it to the last the Mando show, Boba show, dude, that would be a really
that one's hard though, because I feel like some people want that specific Luke though, because like it wouldn't really make sense for them to have the updated version. But I don't know.
I mean, if they were to make it real life, I mean, I think that would be a better thing than not. You know what I mean? So
it's almost like the only figure that you'd accept putting. Like, I'm gonna put a hood on him. It's like the only figure where you'd accept that for paying $300 for it. Yeah, you know, or $350 or whatever it was. So. Yeah, man, it's pretty wild for sure. But yeah, man, I'm just excited to see this Wenwu and other stuff like it. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, man, it should be a blast. So here's another question related, because again, all the rage is Queen Studios in art right now. Everyone's talking about them one way or another. Is their Gandalf fake? Is their Joker window an issue? Whatever the problem is, right? Or whatever's the topic at the time. Should I always be nervous about them? And Carlos, I want to go to you. Like, do you think they should really monitor them or even care? I mean, they're the king of the castle still. Until someone actually knocks them off, should they care?
I mean, I don't think so. Not at this point. I mean, Hot Toys is still really great quality. I mean, look at the Wenwu, right? Look at the updates from the Batman, and even before that update of the Batman, right, with the new sculpt, that $515 one, like that one was a great one. I don't see why they would have to be scared of Queen. I mean, they can literally come out and release a Joker that's sculpted. And, you know, it's not going to look as good as this, as far as maybe like the rooted part, but because obviously it'll be sculpted. But I think we're forgetting just how good Hot Toys really is. And if they really want to mess things up for Queen, they really could. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they did it with So-So, right, with that Loki. No, I don't think they should be worried at this point. I mean, besides, they have the Marvel license and the Star Wars license. Like, how many of us, except for the Joker and a few, are going to run to get Lord of the Rings? Are going to run to go get, you know what I mean, all these other DC figures? Not a whole lot of us, right? We're going to prioritize, most of us, Marvel, and some of us, and the other ones, you know, Star Wars, right? Those are the main two IPs. And everything else, if we have the budget, if we have some remaining ones, then maybe at that point we'll go get those other ones, unless they're just like a grail for you. Joker may be an exception. I don't see a lot of people lining up for, you know, Gandalf or, you know, Dune or all these other ones. You know, Neo, like they'll
especially
do great.
From the new Matrix.
I don't see it happening. So I don't think they have to be worried about anything. And then like last point, Queen is releasing this DeLorean, right? And let's say they release the first one, right? Like from the first movie, dude, all Hot Toys has to do is reissue if they wanted to, and they can just really, you know, kind of end it for Queen at that point. You know what I mean? Because let's be honest, Queen has never made a vehicle. Hot Toys has. Like, there's nothing we'll be worried about at this point. I mean, maybe a couple years from now we can see what's happening, but at least for now, let's not forget that Hot Toys is still really good. And if you don't believe me, go look at 3.0 and the Aspens, and then you can let me know what you think.
Throwing them under the bus. Wow.
Let's be honest.
Well, I have some 3.0 and they're pretty good, but most of them, none of them are really Hot Toys at their best, right?
We know that if Hot Toys does that figure, it would be that much better.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. Yeah. Yep. Right. And I've always said that, like, my favorite figure is this third-party Sephiroth, right? If Hot Toys did the Sephiroth, I'd sell that thing tomorrow. I
Right.
mean, like that's as
Right.
much as I love that figure. It's fantastic. It's great. But if Hot Toys did it, it'd be better.
It'd be
I
better.
mean,
Yeah.
no doubt about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So I think we do forget that sometimes too. But Riley, how do you feel, man? Do you think like Hot Toys should be, feeling any nerves about this at all?
I mean, personally, I'd probably go the same route with Carlos. I don't think that they should be that nervous. It should be definitely something that goes on their radar, though. I don't think they should just like not be nervous at all. And I think they've already shown that. Obviously, it's not that they're nervous, but they're trying to show their hand with now that ever since Queen has been doing stuff like this, they're communicating more. They're showing more photos of better stuff. So they're definitely showing that like they know what's going on. So it's definitely something that's still a problem. But I wouldn't really say a problem, just a situation that's happening with them. But I mean, in general, like you said, I think another really big point is that Queen just doesn't have the Marvel or Star Wars license. And I think that that's like one of the major factors of why Hot Toys are still going to be on the radar, on the map, because everyone messages Queen, Star Wars, we need Star Wars. I want Star Wars, and Marvel too. They want Marvel too, but it just seems like every time people ask like John, the exec or whatever, they just usually go like, okay, we're going to talk to them and see. But like they explain how it's such a hard license to acquire for both,
Right.
because it's by Disney or et cetera, or Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that Hot Toys have to worry about anything because,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, Queen too, they have premium figures. This is not like something that's like Carlos said, if Hot Toys did they can just do a Joker for $270, and like that's gonna majorly affect Queen and other people's thoughts. Like, why do I have to have this $500 Queen, or do I just go Hot Toys? So it's like it can kind of go here and there. I know they do have the single one too, but I just think that if Hot Toys does anything, that I don't think they're gonna go anywhere. Definitely for like even people in China, a lot of people they always are sticking towards Hot Toys because obviously it's right in their front doorstep and it's super important to them, and the credibility that Hot Toys have built up over time.
Yeah, and if anything, when it comes down with Hot Toys and Queen, I mean, if you want Queen to get that license, then they're gonna need a lot of people to pre-order this Joker. They're gonna need a lot of people to get Gandalf. Like, and that's the only way that's gonna happen. And I just don't see a lot of people lining up. I mean, this was the one figure, where everybody lined up for it. I don't see a lot of them lining up for Gandalf. Like I wouldn't line up for it, you know what I mean? Or I wouldn't be, if they release some 3-day window, right? Like no one's really gonna do that. Or
we've talked about it before. Like even if they did get the license, like we're not gonna see anything till like from Queen for at least till like 2024, 2025, something like that. So it's like you still have time.
And if they do, the only thing they can do is try to compete with Hot Toys on their lesser important characters. Like a Stormtrooper is not a main character or a side character; it's a background character, right? So like if they do a Stormtrooper, which is like what 270, probably is going to be the new lowest one. Like that trooper, the Dark Trooper from Mandalorian, is that 270? I think it's
something like that.
Right. Okay, so let's say that one's 270, and then Queen comes out with the Gandalf, and the single pack is like 330. You can spend $60 more and get that figure. I mean, if you love Star Wars, you love Star Wars. I get it, but it's gonna make you think for those like lower tier characters. That's really where Queen can compete. But even then, you know what I mean? It's like, it's gonna be a difficult climb for them to be on the Hot. So I think that's why they're going after the same licenses that Asmus's 3-0 are doing, because they can easily beat them, but they're not going to easily be able to beat Hot Toys. That's going to be a big, hill to climb, mountain to climb. So
yeah, absolutely. And Bob Dylan dropped a good comment. In art won't touch Star Wars, not popular enough in China, and it's hard to get the license. You compound that with the fact that they probably can't get the license even if they wanted to.
Right.
And they've said many times that China is their primary market, although they do want to go global. That's their primary first point of concern.
Right.
So I'm going to keep the same picture up because I have a topic that I know Carlos is going to be excited about. Should exclusivity matter? This is all the hot topic right now in the community. Should we care, right? Should we care about the pre-order window being extended? Should we care about something being limited? Should we care about something being numbered? Whatever the case may be, right? So I want to save Carlos for this one. So Riley, how do you feel about this, bro? As a younger collector yourself, do you care does it factor into your decision at all? Do you have something that's limited? Do you have something that's exclusive? Do you have something that maybe other people don't have? Does that matter to you for your collection? How do you?
So for me, like I would say that I don't think it's a major factor. Like obviously not to like the level of Carlos, which is not a bad thing. But I'm not throwing shade. It's fine. It's fine. But I think to me, like I think everyone at the end of the day, as much as they want to say it, like they would rather like something that's exclusive than normally just to get.
For sure.
It's just at the end of the day, like if and anything in general, not even with collecting, like anything that just slaps on exclusive or limited, it's gonna make you be like, oh, I really want to get this more. So I think to me, it's really nice when people do stuff like that, when it's limited and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like with the Joker, it's very controversial. But I think if you really wanted to get that figure, it shouldn't be something that's just controversial. It should just be like, okay, they did kind of like screw up. They did a little bad thing, but like at the end of the day, you're still getting the same thing that you ordered, and it's not going to be like a deal breaker. And you should like boycott Queen Studios because they did that, unless. Like you said, like unless you wanted something that was exclusive 3 days and they're never going to touch it again, which they did kind of say. They did say they'd close it in 3 days, so they did mess up a little. But I just think at the end of the day, it's not something that's going to be like a major factor for me per se. Like unless something with statues. For statues, that's a little bit more different. Like if it's limited to like certain amount of pieces, I think that's something that really speaks volumes to statues because it's a really hard sale, like to sell statues. It's not an easy thing to sell. So if you have something that doesn't have a limited number, it's going to be even harder to sell it. So I think when it comes to statues, that's really important. But
yeah,
to figures, it's to me, it's like it's at the end of the day, it's like nothing's, like you said a lot in streams, nothing's exclusive anymore. Like there's always going to be an open opportunity to grab something, even if it's closed for a certain time.
Right. Yeah, I agree, man. And I think it's just a matter of which field you're in. Like you said, Riley, for statue collectors, maybe it's a little more of a concern. But I think even in that realm, I don't necessarily feel like exclusivity is something that's going to be a factor forever. Because like the Legolas I got, right? They could easily say, okay, we're gonna make Legolas in a different pose. It's a new statue, technically, right? They could totally do that. Like, say that statue sold out and started going for crazy prices, like $8,000-$10,000, right? Infinity Studios would look at that and be like, we're making another Legolas. I mean, like, there's demand for it clearly. And this Arthur Fleck, they made 300 or 350 of these. It's still on spec right now. So I mean, it's sold out technically, but not everywhere, right? So even on limited pieces, a lot of them nowadays, I think people just understand essentially that exclusivity thing is starting to kind of not be as much of a thing unless you're in the custom game. If you're in the custom market, but J&D are exclusive to a degree, right? So, Denobi dropped a comment. Sits in the background listening, eating popcorn and slurping Coke, seeing the folks debate Queen Studios exclusivity. I know you do, Denobi. He enjoys this, bro. I know he does.
He's always working and he's just in the back.
I know he's in the background listening. All the time. Those MFers talking about exclusivity again. Yeah, but clutching their pearls, as he says. So. But yeah, so Carlos, what do you think, man? I'm showing Arthur Fleck because I want you to buy it for me. But so
birthday gift.
I want breakfast and Arthur Fleck, bro. And then
wow, gotcha. I'll buy it for you, no problem.
Oh, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Just, return the chair.
Dude, what is this chair? Am I missing something?
I can't say anymore, bro. I'm under strict confidence. So
I bought. So what happened is that I bought a chair that is like over a couple $1,000s, and Will just won't let it go.
Oh my god,
that's actually true. That's full transparency.
Basically what it is.
And he took Carlos was like, "Will, don't say anything," and I was like, "All right, I won't." And then I totally forgot, and then said it to everybody.
I've told Will a lot of stuff. Thankfully, that's the
worst
only thing that he shared that I bought.
I wouldn't share anything else you told me in confidence, Carlos, because it's all love, bro. You know this, so
no, it's not.
It is. It is.
Will's a drama queen. He's telling everyone.
Yeah, clearly, bro. Clearly. But Carlos, what do you think, man? I'm showing Arthur Fleck. I know exclusivity matters to you, so I want to let you kind of take the floor on this one.
So, all right, everyone can collect, first of all, on whichever way they want to collect, right? So if you want to collect about exclusivity, that's okay. You do whatever makes sense for you, right? And someone shouldn't have to explain to someone else why you collect, or like, oh, you collect for exclusivity, that's stupid, or you don't collect for, you know what I mean? You do whatever you want, because at the end of the day, it's your money. You can do, you spend it however you like, you know what I mean? It's not going to affect any of us at the end of the day, right? With that said, as far as exclusivity, I really feel like, I know a lot of collectors say they don't care, but I still don't understand why, to a degree, why you wouldn't. Right? Let's say you were one of those, because you bought a rescue, or you bought an Armed Patriot and you ended up buying them for that $400 price tag, whatever it was. Dude, you can get those figures for like $300 now, right? Prices are going down. Every figure is going down. You can get a Dark Side Anakin, for the 500. Like at one point, we value exclusivity to a degree, and those that are saying, "Oh, F exclusivity, I don't care about it." Well, I guess the question should be, how long have you been collecting? You know what I mean? And then maybe we can say, well, why exclusivity doesn't matter. We can talk about it. Because if you're one of those that got a Nightmare Batman and paid $800, and now if you're going to sell that piece because you want to get this 2-pack, how much money are you going to lose on that? And I know a few people who bought that piece for like $700 plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if you were one of those 2 people that I sold that Mark 47 for $1,000 plus, I feel really bad for you. You know what I mean? That it's like $300 now. So I personally try to focus not so much on it has to be super exclusive, but more of like are they going to try to reissue this? What kind of pieces this? You know what I mean? And honestly, try to even be more selective, because at this point, you're right. 1/6 collecting is not about exclusivity. But if it's not about exclusivity, then people really shouldn't care about this 3-day pre-order window, right? Because you really shouldn't, right? Like, why would you care at that point? Like, oh, it's about the Prince, so I get all that. But then there's to a degree, like, how much you really care about this. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just feels like I would want to know more of like certain collectors who are saying like, if I bought something for $400 and now it's worth $300 because it sits there, or it's not exclusive enough, or because there's just so much stock at that point. Are you really getting a collectible, or are you getting a glorified toy at that point? What are you really getting? I have very strong opinions on this. Obviously, you already know that, and I try to be more selective on it. But like the Short Trooper, I know a few people who bought it for $250 or so, and you can get one right now for $160, $170 sealed, right? So it's like, I don't know what kind of collectible goes down in value like that, and then it starts coming up. And I get you love it, and how much do you love something where you start losing money at that point? You know what I mean? So I don't know. To each their own. Everyone can do whatever they want, but that's how I see things, right? Like, I'm not trying to buy something that's going to take up space in my house, knowing that it's going to go down in value. It's because this is not a need, right?
You raise a good point, because like I love this Joker one, but like I said, like if this is like, if I bought this for what is it like 1,100 shipped, and it's like $800 or $700, that's gonna be a problem for me too. It's not like something I'm just like, oh, whatever. Like it's something to think about. It's not something that you can just be like, well, personally for me, like I can't like just ignore that and just be like, I'd be kind of like, that's kind of unfortunate that it's that low, or like 700, but I don't know, teach your own.
I guess it's like, see, reissues and 2.0s, I'm okay with those. It's okay after a certain degree. Like, hey, it's been 6 years, 7 years. Okay, it's time to do it, because some of these figures are looking dated. But 2 years later, 3 years later, we're gonna do a soft reissue, or we're gonna start doing these. That's where I guess I start. Has chosen one of the
Kenobi has selected you as the chosen one, bro.
You're the chosen one.
You're going to the dark side soon, though. So
could Carlos be the chosen one to lead the
the chosen one to lead the collective community out of darkness after that speech, perhaps. He's disoriented. He's been drinking soda and eating popcorn all day.
I just don't get it. I don't understand. Like, all right, see, there's certain, for example, you need a car, you buy a car, that car is going to go down in value, right? From what I've heard, most collectors are making average incomes, right? That's because obviously it's the average American, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Why would you spend so much of your money on something that's 10%? And I know some people probably spend most of it on things that just depreciate in value so consistently. You wouldn't do that you wouldn't be buying brand new cars all the time, right? Obviously, they're more expensive. I get that, but I just don't see how you go about it and say, I'm going to have a piece in my house, or this all these figures and toys and statues or whatever it is, they're going to take up an entire room, and all these pieces are worth less now, over and over and over. It's like, I just don't get that. You know what I mean? White people, so
I get what you mean from the monetary investment side of it, though.
Like if you love,
I
was gonna say, if you love it, that's great, but like, how much is that worth at the end of the day? Like, okay, I love that piece. I get it. You have a few pieces you love, right? And I get it. And I know we talk about being more selective on things, but then like, how much, like it's like people saying, which is the dumbest argument I've heard, like, oh, I'm gonna buy day one pre-order and it's $500 so I can enjoy it. Like, enjoy it and how you're gonna post it, you're gonna put it away, and maybe you posted it. Like, define enjoyment. They define love over, hey, you spent $1,000, okay. But we're not talking about $1,000. Some people's collections go 20, 40, $50,000 deep. Some even more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you love something that much where it's going to depreciate that drastically. And that's not the case for maybe you, Will, because you've been a lot smarter with things, or a lot of us who talk about this. But I feel like for a lot of collectors who don't really know this, they're just buying or buy and first day pre-order, or they go and buy a secondary figure like a Darkseid Anakin, right? And then they're screwed at the end of the day.
There
You know what I mean? So
yeah. And Anthony dropped a good comment. Well, check the market now. Lots of people trying to offload their figures very cheap, and with over 100 plus pre-orders backed up, the market is shifting. Yeah, could be. For sure. I mean, the market is shifting because everything's dropping, even the most exclusive of things. Like, it's pretty rare. So the things go up in value for 1.6 at least. 1.6 right now.
Yeah.
Even this Joker, man, because like I told you guys, and I've seen this from selling statues, the higher something gets in price, the smaller the market is. Because that's just how it goes. So like this Joker is already at retail $1,000, $1,100, right? So even if it maintains that value and you go to sell it after, that's going to be hard because you're going to have to sell it to someone who's willing to just drop $1,000 right then. That's not easy. So, that's my thing with it. So like if you're going to get this, then you really, I think, need to be sure that this is what you want. Because because this is going to be hard. I think it could be hard to resell. Because I mean, like it's like
it's like the 2-pack, the Han and Chewie. And I know Harrison Ford doesn't really give up his likeness, but let's just say that ever does happen. That figure's going for what, $1,000, $800, something like that.
Yeah, the 2-pack.
Like, how many people chase for that figure, get it, and then they try to resell it or they get reissued? Dude, nobody wants that first edition or whatever it is, right? Or even Anthony made a good point, that K2SO. Dude, that K2SO was going $600, $700, $800. And they didn't even reissue it until this last show, but the scared of the reissue brought the value down. So obviously that lets us know collectors care about exclusivity, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be scared about reissue, and they would just kind of let that go and figures and prices keep going up, right? Because I mean, Darkseid Anakin's at one point sold over 700. Now they're like 500, 550 or so. You can get them. You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, I totally agree. That's the same problem with me, because when I first started collecting, it was recently, and whenever I first started, I didn't look at like Facebook, I didn't look at groups, I didn't know about all this stuff. So to me, when I'd buy stuff, it would just be on like eBay or something like that, where it's obviously a jacked up prices. But for this Joker specifically, like another reason where it could also like be hard to go up in value is that people are expecting it to go up in value. So that's making people buy it. And did you really want it at the end of the day? And when when people are buying it to resell it, they're like looking at it and it's like, oh, it's still 1,000. Like, this is a problem. Like, people are buying it just for it to become a grail.
Right. And because we all know, right? Like there is obviously no exclusivity, as Anthony said, in Hot Toys. We know that. We get that. But it's not so much that we're trying to be out here and say like, hey, if I buy something for 300, I need my figure to go to 900 or 800. No, but it's a collectible. It's supposed to be something worth pursuing and having, and saying, if this is going to be in my home when it sells out, damn, like I want it to be, 400, 500. Dude, that Mysterio sold out, and I see that thing going for 250 or 240. You know what I mean? Some of these Iron Man figures, I love Iron Man, but they're just selling so cheap than they ever have before. And they're never going to reissue them. But just because people are like, oh yeah, it's no longer worth it. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
And there's another thing that a lot of people are saying in chat, like they don't do it for the resale value, but sometimes like there could be something in your life that you weren't expecting that you need to sell something. Like, it's not really something that you're going to resell, but like something comes in your life, something happens, you're going to have to sell it. But do you want to sell it at that lower price?
Let's say you had a 4-bedroom home, right? Stuff happens. 2008, I don't know, the economy crashes because things happen, life happens, and you lose your job. Stuff happens, and you have to downsize. You have to go from a 4-bedroom to a 3 or even a 2, and you don't have space for it, and you got to sell it, right? Or you got to let that things go. But because you love those figures so much, and you did a lot of day one pre-orders, you didn't do it right, you didn't do the right things. Hey, I got to sell my stuff now because I don't have space for this. And you spent $50,000, and you sold it, and because everything's so cheap, oh, I was able to get back $44,000. That $6,000 is going to hurt the shit out of you, because it's probably a good chunk of your income. You know what I mean? Not everyone's making 6 figures, right? So that's gonna hurt a lot. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm always thinking about. Like if it's gonna take up that much space in your home and it's gonna be a problem, how do I clean it? How do I store it? Damn, I need Maji cases. It better be worth it from a love standpoint and from a monetary standpoint too. So
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, because I definitely get both sides of this for sure. Maybe with me with exclusivity, like I'm more so thinking about things retaining their value rather than appreciating in value.
Right.
I for sure feel that way. Like I for sure feel like it's as long as something is relatively close to what I paid for it, I'm usually pretty happy if I end up offloading it. Yeah, if you make some money off of it, that's great. If Hot Toys do sell, I think right now, Carlos, your point about Hot Toys like Mysterio, for example, I'm a little surprised by the fact that Mysterio is at that price. And I think part of it is because of the oversaturation of the market. Not really just from Hot Toys, but from every company. There's so many good things coming out right now. And that's part of the problem too. I think because even if the Hot Toys sold out and they said, we're never going to reissue Mysterio, right? I think even right now in this market, I'm not so sure that he would go up to $500 like he probably would have before.
Right.
One of the ones I've been most shocked over time is Killmonger. Like Killmonger is a little above retail, but he's not even a chase figure really. And I'm really shocked by that, by how good that figure is, and two, how iconic I think the character is and how great he was. And Wenwu could easily go that route, Carlos. Like we could easily be looking at Wenwu, and he could be barely above retail when he sells out. So I don't know. Figures right now though, if you're buying figures, you should probably expect to lose if you're going to sell it. Carlos is right about that. Like pretty much most Hot Toys right now, like you're like if it's still in stock for one, you're definitely going to lose. But even if it's sold out, like you might still lose. I mean, you have
to wait 2 to 3 years after it sells out.
Probably
for you to even make some money.
I mean, to me, I'm fine like losing.
That's just not a huge deal to me because I feel like I bought it for enjoyment. So for me, like I'm in it for that. So
right. And I'm fine with losing. Like I think that for me, if I were to lose money on selling a figure, I'd like losing like at least like $50 or $40. But anything more than that, then it becomes a problem for me.
Yeah, but you're also looking at it if you have 10, 20 figures. But people who have 50 figures or more, and you start losing $40 a pop, 40 figures, 30 figures in because you had to sell it. And that's up real quick. And I know that because when I got out of 1/6, thankfully I was smart enough to not lose, money. I was able to make some money on this, but nowhere near like I could only imagine people who were like, if you get something from Sideshow for $250, you're paying shipping and you're paying tax. And if you sell it for retail at $250, you're losing out on that shipping, on that tax, on that PayPal fee, and on that shipping. So you don't really get your money back. You have to wait a while. You know what I mean? And my point is like, all I'm saying is if you're gonna buy something, get it, and you better love it, and you better hold on to it for the next like 3 to 4 years. Because give it a year to sell out, and hold on 2 to 3 more years after that to be able to break even. So you better love a figure for 4 years. Look at it like that going.
And Daedric, I think I'm pretty much in agreement with. I go into the top expecting to make back 80%. That's about right. But it all evens out, hopefully one way or another, because some things really appreciate, like the Dark Side Anakin, for example, that I sold, the Luke Skywalker, the Endor Luke Deluxe that I bought for $240 and sold for $450. Right? That's for sure. So that's true. You said you don't get your money back on making breakfast for Will either. It's true, bro. It's true. It's true. It's true. But yeah, so guys, but this is such a great topic, but for sure. But I want to touch on a couple more things here real quick. Anomalies. So I want to introduce this topic a little bit for people. Anomalies really are just the unexpected. They're the abnormal. They're the things that come out of nowhere. And what I'm talking about with this question, accounting for anomalies, is accounting for the unexpected, essentially, to put it in simple terms. Like accounting for things that you don't know are going to drop, that you're definitely going to want, that you just don't know because it doesn't exist yet. The example I like to give is literally the Queen Studios Joker that we were just looking at, right? We didn't know that thing was going to drop. It just dropped out of nowhere. We knew they teased it a little bit, but even before they dropped the official pre-order, you're kind of like, oh, they're dropping a Joker. Like I got to do this. I got to get this, right? This is the Joker.
Right.
So yeah, I think for sure, man, these are the things that I think we have to account for. And the advice that I always like to give is try to sometimes like hold yourself back from buying things that you're kind of so-so about, or things that have come in stock that maybe are garnering a little bit of attention and, publicity and things like that maybe you're just on the fence about, right? Because what happens, at least from what I've experienced, who's someone, we're all on, limited middle salaries, right? So Like, can't have everything. So when that happens, what I've noticed is I don't account for the anomaly. Then the anomaly pops up, and then I don't have the budget to buy the thing I really want because I bought something that I was kind of on the fence about, right? So Riley, I want to start with you. Do you think we should account for anomalies? Like when we're thinking about buying our figures, should we kind of save a little bit extra so we like if something does pop up that we really want, we have that money to get that thing instead of the fact that we dedicated that money to something else that we were a little less thrilled about?
No, I think you should definitely account. I agree with this because there's a lot of instances where, like you said with the Joker, like stuff will just pop up out of nowhere, and they have limited times on them for specific pieces. But I think, yeah, you should definitely save up money. Like for me, for instance, like I can give a good example, like the J&D, like they always randomly just will drop something for the month that will come, and it'll sell out like they've had like 20 minutes or 25 minutes. That's obviously a higher statues. They're higher priced, but I think it's still something that you have to think about because that's like $2,500, and you have to get that ready within like 20 minutes of the order. So I think that's super important. And for stuff like this too, like Loki and for other stuff, like they'll just drop out of nowhere. And sometimes you have to have like a limited time to do stuff like this. So you need to be prepared and have the money for it, and definitely curate your collection like we've talked about before. Like if there's something that you really don't like anymore, like I'm doing that right now. I'm selling a lot of the figures that like it just doesn't hit the same anymore to me. It's just so I can fund stuff like stuff that drops out of nowhere with all these companies like Queen and J&D, and even J&D with 6 scale coming. We don't know when that they can literally just 1 week say, oh, we're doing J&D 6 scale pre-order for I don't know, just something random will come next week. So you have to get ready for stuff like
and the
that.
deposit's $500. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
So
So you have to do that because J&D, obviously stuff like that sells out quick. And if J&D does it, it's going to be limited in some form of way. It's not going to be something that's going to be a wide market. So to me, like stuff like that, you have to get prepared for other companies and even companies now that drop in stuff for sure.
For sure. So Carlos, how do you approach this, man? Like for me with this Loki, for example, right? I did full pay again. I always say like, I like to do that. No one forces you to do it. But for this statue, I paid it off in full. I just wanted to get it done because I know I'm going to get this, right? But this thing dropped and it's $1,100. And I could have dropped an NRD, maybe a couple $100. That's fine. But that's still a couple $100. It's a lot of money. So I have to be, that's why this is a good example, I think, of being prepared for those type of things, because I didn't really, like Queen Studios had teased it, but once they teased it, I was like, oh, I don't, I got to get money prepared, right? And if I went and bought the Bat Pod, for example, maybe my collectible budget for that month was a little bit strained, right? So that's, how do you approach these, like these anomalies that pop up out of nowhere?
So are we talking about 1/6 collectors? Maybe collectors collect statues as well, or is
anything,
there
anything. But if it's only 1/6, you could do that too, like exclusive 1/6.
Sure.
Yeah.
So if you're in 1/6, then I don't really think you need to worry about it too much because you're not in exclusivity, and nothing that you want is going to sell out, and nothing that you want is going to be released in time. So you don't have to really worry about it.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And Ecto 1 comes out, that takes priority. Loki comes out, and you're like, well, I was going to get these couple stormtroopers or this couple figures or this couple Marvel figures, but Loki is priority. I'm going to get this over, like, I don't know. I'm assuming you would probably want this statue over, like, the Hot Toys Loki, right?
Yeah,
like, let's say if you can.
Yeah.
That's my point. It takes priority. So if you're in 1/6, you don't pre-order, so you kind of save yourself. If you're into statue collecting and 1/6, or even just statues in general, then at that point you say, okay, well, if I'm budgeting 10% of my my budget, so if you're 50,000 income and you're at $5,000, hey, I'm gonna put $1,000 aside for a statue or these things that just randomly pop up for the year. Then you can have a small little savings like that. I think that'll be the smartest thing. And that'll probably be the easiest way to go about it. So if a Joker does come out or the statue does come out, you're still within your budget. Because obviously with statues, you sometimes have to pre-order on like a 1/6 figure. So that's a little bit different, but I would say it's probably the route. But if you're in 1/6 and you were, you really were hunting for that Ecto 1 and you really wanted one and it came out, well, there you go. You know what I mean? Now, you don't, as long as you're not pre-ordering, you don't have to worry about it because everything can take a back seat. And it doesn't matter, like that Boba 2-pack that everybody was raving about. It's going to sit there for a while. And you still have time to go get that Ecto 1 and still go back and get that one at a discounted rate. You know what I mean? So it depends what you're collecting, whether this should be a problem for you. So for me specifically, I have a budget, and then I just I have my savings account for this stuff. So for random things that pop up or that I want, and I'm kind of like you, Will. I don't pay So like, let's say if this was, this was $1,200, right? I would have put the deposit, and then I would have gotten the remaining amount and just put it in a savings account immediately.
Right.
So I pay it off, but without giving it to the company, essentially. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
so I guess
that
it
probably
depends.
would have been smarter, but
Well, I mean, whatever works for you. You know what I mean? There's no like what's smart.
I mean, you're a big Loki fan, so it's more towards
right. And I trust Todd, so like that's where I got it from. So
yeah. And it's funny because at the end, people are like, you have to be exclusive. And people are like, well, who buys things they don't like? Right? It's like, well, I'm assuming that person has never sold anything, because then why are you selling it if you don't like it? You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where like you, Riley, you're saying you want to sell a couple things to get that J&D, right? It's like you're preparing for it, but selling your collection to fund your collection, that only worked back then. Now it's like, maybe if you would have bought a figure that was like 3-4 years old and you kept it that long, then maybe that could help you fund it, because technically that figure would have helped you lose money, right, to get this new piece. So
yeah, and things like third party that pop up. I'm not always the biggest third party guy, but with Final Fantasy, bro, and these game toys, I'm really into them, and they pop up nowhere, and you have 2 weeks to pre-order them, and or they're gone, and then they go up a lot in price. So that's another anomaly. You don't have to pay in full; you can pay an NRD, but still, that's money you're dropping and a commitment you're making. So,
so there's exceptions, and we all thought this one's an exception. We thought the Joker was an exception, and it's not. But that's my point. Where like there's only just a handful of figures that are an exception, and I don't know how many people are running also to like. It's not like this one's going to be made like thousands and thousands like Marvel or a Star Wars figure. So there are some exceptions that you have to say, hey, I'm going to pre-order this. But that's the same thing. If you're only in 1/6, don't pre-order anything that has a Hot Toys 3.0 or an Asmus label on it. Don't do it. It's just dumb to do it. Even if you love the figure, and wait for these things to pop up. Because if you really want these have to take priority. A DeLorean, a Nectar 1, if you love Jazz Inc., a Jazz Inc. vehicle from the Batman, you know what I mean? Those take priority than a standard 1/6 figure. They're gonna be there, right? They're gonna be there.
There's another way to look at it too, like accounting for stuff like for even TV shows and stuff, like the Dark Side Anakin that I sold them. It was like this week. I sold them because I'm preparing for the show to come out, and possibly we'll see Anakin Skywalker when he has the Sith eyes. So as soon as we see any shot of that, Hot Toys are going to do it. There's no chance they're going to pass up on that. So to me, that's me preparing for that, so I can get rid of it now, so I don't lose out on money. That's what.
Which one? The
Dark Side Anakin.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. I think you made the right move, Riley.
You don't care about exclusivity or value, bro. You should have just
I'm keeping it, man.
Now.
Hey, not gonna sell it for cheap though.
Come on now.
So I want to talk about something that I know is near and dear to Carlos's heart also. What's the best way to approach collecting multiple scales?
Okay, this one's good.
Because Carlos, man. I know with you've kind of, jumped back and forth to different scales. I have a bunch of scales just in this room right now. So how do you approach this, Carlos? I know you've had 1/6, you've had, I think, 1/3. You're good looking at 1/2. I mean, how are you going to display that, and how do you approach collecting that?
Yeah, so everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different, right? I'm on my way to buying a specific, homes and stuff, or home that will be able to fit everything I'm getting. So, but depending on your size and what you have, if you're collecting statues or 1/6, you kind of have to set really hard rules for yourself. And something I even talked with, you and Riley about, it's like, okay, if I want to get statues, I should only stick to like 5. And what kind of scales can you have? Like maybe I'm only going to stick to quarter scales, because 1/3 would be too much. Even if they come out with the best 1/3 scale, I'm just not going to get it. You know what I mean? So I feel like if you're going to mix scales, you have to put yourself really hard rules for it. Like, for example, for myself, I only collect like half scale Iron Man for statue wise, 1/3 everything else, and then like I'll collect like 1/6 like vehicles and figures that go with those vehicles. But that's all I do, right? Like that Moon Knight may be that one exception I make, but I'm not making a lot of those exceptions. You really have to set yourself really ground yourself, like, or set really strict parameters, like what scales I'm gonna get, what I'm going to get, and what I want to buy, because it's gonna get pretty expensive, and you only have so much room, so I guess that's how I specifically do it. Like, so I really wanted that Legolas, right, that you got, Will, but it's half scale. And those half scales are reserved for, let's say, my Iron Man, let's say. But if they make it in 1/3, I'm all over it. Like that 1/3 black suit Superman from Queen. I'm gonna probably buy that just because it fits the 1/3 and it fits the character I want. So I'm gonna get it. But if it was in a quarter scale like that Loki, I'm gonna skip it. You know what I mean? Just because it's a quarter scale and I'm just not getting quarter scales just to kind of manage my budget. You know what I mean? So that's how I do it, at least, and or how I manage multiple scales.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Well, Riley, what about you, man? Because I know you're starting to delve into some other scales, man. How do you think you're going to approach this? Are you going to dedicate more budget to it because you're going to have to? Like, you know, you're going to
Right.
give up more hot toys? What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, it's hard because like the best advice I can give to anyone is just make sure that you have like a solid plan what you're gonna do. Because
Right.
for me, like when I started collecting, I was like, I'm only doing 1/6. Like, there's no way I'm gonna get like stuff like that. But then I see 1/4 and they look really cool, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll get like 1/4. I got like the hot toy, the Batman Begins 1/4. I'm like, that's really cool. But then I see the 1/3, and then I see I see like these
Right.
really, really cool stuff that I'm like, okay, maybe I can edge the money. But at the end of the day, like if you want to edge the money, that's not the way you should do it. I think that like I've
Right.
done, like you have to make certain sacrifices with figures because
Right.
there's a lot of figures that I love, like that I want to keep, but it's like I can't like financially survive having everything. Like I have to make some certain decisions. But
Right.
that's the way I would look at it. And even your display too, like you said, like your certain room, you have to definitely like take the time, because I've taken a lot of time just trying to figure out what I want to do, because I'm getting Maju cases. And I got Maju cases planning to put only 1/6, but I've talked to Carlos about this. Like, if I do get a 1/3, like it's not going to fit in there, obviously. So like, that's why you really have to think about what you're going to do before you end up buying stuff. Because to me, like I want to, I want to have that 1/3 in like a display cabinet. But now that I've already gotten the Maju case, it's like, I don't know if I can go back. I mean, even Denobi can say that too. He's had that problem too, where you have to reorder Maju cases and it takes like 12 months. Like I don't want to do that. So to me, you definitely have to have a solid plan for what you want to do, and you have to take some sacrifices on figures like I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Right. Or even like for me, I mean, I have a pretty good sized budget and I want to be able to buy $2,000 chairs. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm excluding quarter scale, because it's like they make everything in quarter scale. Just how they make everything in 1/6, quarter scale is the most popular size for a statue because it's the most inexpensive, typically. Right. So that's how I'm like, well, I want to be able to do other stuff. Like, I don't know, like next month we might go to Vegas. You know what I mean? It's like, well, if that was tied up on a statue, how are we going to do that? You know what I mean? So those are the kind of things that I look at and say, that's why I'm not doing quarter scales for that reason. You know, so I try to be budget friendly by excluding a certain scale. To give myself room.
That's what I'd say. Be selective with your scales, because for me, I'm like I'm doing it wrong. I've got like so many scales that I want to get, but I think the best way to do it is to definitely definitely limit yourself to like, I'd probably do like two different types of scales. That's what I'd try and do.
Yeah. Well, I think a good way is to display the scales in a line, like to put them to put like all your quarter scale in one line. If you have that 6 scale, obviously you could put them kind of all together. Like I like 6 scale. Like I have a Marvel cabinet and a Star Wars cabinet, and I put them separate, and it kind of looks good. It kind of looks universal, right? But if you put you know, like your scales together, even if they're not the same IP, like say it's Thanos and then Baldur and Kratos, you're not gonna put them all in a quarter scale line to look pretty good. So that's what I like to do. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm up to the mindset too that I don't like excluding great pieces from your collection because of the exclusively the scale. Like if it's a budget concern, absolutely. But if you like, but say like, because I got the question a lot. I have quarter scale Sauron, like and people were like, why am I getting the Legolas in half scale when I have quarter scale Sauron? Because I'll find a way to make it work because I want great things. So like if I have the budget and I'm going to go for it, just because I have something from that IP in another scale doesn't mean I'm going to bypass it altogether. Like that's my approach. If you have the space, if you don't have the space, then yeah, for sure. You have to be more selective. But I think collectors, we're creative people. We can find a way to make it work. You know,
like I really want that. Obviously another Iron Man that 1-to-1 life size, the full life size of the Mark III. And that one's gonna be like $12,000, and I really want it. And I know Becca's listening, but it doesn't matter.
Come on, Becca, help this man out.
Come on,
I really want it, but it's like, damn, like I don't collect 101 for that reason, because it's just so expensive. I'm giving up a lot of things, you know what I mean? So for $12,000, so you know, that's what? How many J&Ds? 5?
Yeah, it's a lot.
5
like
J&Ds.
2,500 for J&D. So yeah, like
five J&Ds, like 12 Prime ones, basically all your Hot Toys collection. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
you know what
It
I
is.
mean? So,
Literally.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but yeah, guys, there's one more topic I want to use to kind of round out the conversation tonight, because I think this is a fun one. And this was kind of, I think this is a fun one just because Carlos and I talked about this a little bit, and he said 10 originally, but 10 is kind of hard. So I wanted to make it even harder by making it 5. So I'm going to throw this out there, and I can put this in the little banner if we have to, right? So this can be anything that you currently have. It can also be anything that you have on pre-order. Something, or you're going to pre-order something that exists in the real world. You can't be like, well, the Queen Studios Pennywise, it doesn't exist yet. It's not out there in the ether, right? So I'm going to say anything that you have, could be any scale, any collectible that you have, the top 5 things you would keep. You have to get rid of the rest. You cannot keep it. You have to sell it all. You can only keep 5 things.
Or go buy it, right? Or go buy it.
Yeah, or go buy it. So, yep, exactly. So, and I didn't give you guys any time for preparation for this. So, and I'll pull some of these up as you bring them up. So do you want me to go first? Because I didn't plan anything.
Well, you go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So this is really tough. I didn't think about this.
You're on the spot, bro. Come on.
Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say, and this is in maybe no particular order. I'm just going to give 5, right? The half scale Pennywise from Prime 1, of course. You guys know this.
Of course.
That quarter scale Loki statue. That's going in there, right? Those are 2. And then we're going to go with, I don't have it in hand yet, but I'm going to assume the J&D Joker Heath Ledger is going to be great. And I'm going with that. That's 3, right? Then I have to look around at the other stuff that I have in pre-order and what else I have. Damn, that's so tough, bro. I don't know, man. I'm probably going to go with Balder. Balder's in there. Balder is a quarter scale statue from Prime 1 from God of War. And then I'm going to go, what do I have on pre-order? You know what I'm going to do here, Carlos? It's Jin Sakai, bro.
Wow.
It's Jin Sakai.
What a
Jin
boring
Sakai always in
Prime
your
1.
top 5. Always.
Carlos is going to be like, no one's going to like Will's top 5 at all.
Every single time. It's the opposite.
No one even knows what Jin Sakai is.
Yeah, bro, they do, bro. They do.
Sephiroth, bro. Sephiroth.
Yeah, well, Sephiroth would have been a good choice for sure if they made him in quarter scale. So, but I got to show this because Carlos knows that everyone loves Jin Sakai, bro. So,
no one likes him.
Yeah, everyone loves him, bro. Everyone loves Jin Sakai.
Come on.
So, yeah, this thing is incredible. And there's even a fox in there. I mean, come on, what more could you want?
That's
I really
like made
want
for
this.
you.
This right here, honestly, it's one of the reasons why I'm hating not collecting quarter scales.
Yeah.
So I would totally get this. Like there's a beautiful, this and Loki.
Yeah, for sure, dude. You know exactly how to get to my heart, bro. You know how this works. This thing is beautiful, man. But all right, so Riley, I want to go to you, Riley. 5 collectibles.
Dude,
5 collectibles, bro. You got to choose either things you have or things you have on pre-order, going to pre-order, things that exist.
I'll go if you don't want. If you want to.
Do you want to go,
Carlos?
Okay.
All right, let Riley think a little bit more.
All right, I have a question though, because I don't know what scale this is.
Okay.
The premium format from Sideshow Vader, is that a quarter scale or is that a third?
That's
scale?
a quarter scale. The premium format or the Mythos?
No, the premium format.
That's quarter scale. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I have that on pre-order too.
All right. So if I could only pick 5, I'm gonna start with my smallest, and I'm gonna work my way up. So quarter scale Vader, if they had a 1/3 or something, I would totally get it.
The premium format?
Yeah, the premium format.
Yeah. Okay.
The life size R2D2.
Ooh.
Okay. I have a bunch of life size Joker Heath Ledger.
The Queen Studios?
The Queen Studios, right?
Okay.
I think Sideshow does this piece, is the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. So the life size one as well. And the life size Mark III Iron Man.
Damn, bro, you're flexing with all the life
He
sizes,
wants all
bro.
life size,
oh
bro.
my god.
Well, look,
I'm gonna look poor.
this is gonna be what, like $50,000, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like you know what I mean? Like,
Carlos is like, yeah, bro.
yeah, if I'm only collecting 5, and if they did a life size Vader, I would do a life size Vader, but no one has one yet. You know,
this
what I mean?
statue's fire, by the way, Carlos. This
Yeah,
thing
it's great. That's great. That's my point. Like if they did a life size like this, and I was only collecting those 5, I would do. And mind you, for people who say I hate Star Wars, I see there's 3 life size Star Wars in here. Just gotta point that out. You know what I mean? Just because they're coolish. I mean, the Boba, if they were to do a Mando, I would replace him with Mando. But you said things that exist. So
yeah. And Mario wants to come over and film your collection, bro. So your diecast pan collection.
My
so.
diecast pan. Yeah.
But dude, that's awesome. So Riley, bro, you had about 50 seconds to think. So how do you feel, man? What are the top 5 for you?
Dude, okay, so I think number 5, I'd probably put the Batman the Batmobile from the new Batman movie, because once I get, I don't know which one I'll get, but I'll definitely keep that one.
That counts. That exists. It's gonna
exist.
exist.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll get that. Number 4, I'd probably put the Empire Strikes Back Vader. I have the Hot Toys one, the 40th anniversary, because that one was a gift, so I'm never gonna get rid of that one. So I'm definitely keeping that one. And number 3, I'd probably say, honestly, I got to put Pennywise in there. I'd keep Pennywise for sure. Yeah, come on, man. I got to keep that one. I'm not selling that one, bro. Carlos, God, let me have my list, man. Come on. Number 2. Oh man,
he's back in stock, by the way, Riley. Pennywise.
Oh, dude, really? It's all right. I'm not selling him. He's too good, bro. Grail.
Exclusivity.
Exclusivity.
Dude, Carlos, stop teasing, bro. Another one, I'd probably. Well, I don't know if I'm like for sure committed, but I'm definitely gonna get like a statue of the Pattinson Batman. I don't know which one though, so I'd probably keep that one. I would never sell that. And then
so J&D or Prime 1 probably.
Right. Either of those two. And then lastly, I'd probably say, what would be my number 1? I don't know. I'd probably say it'd probably have to be Vader, honestly. I think I'm gonna get the Mythos one, and I'm gonna keep
the Mythos
that.
one. Okay,
I really like that one, so I'd probably keep that. I don't know, on the spot. That's probably because he's like my favorite character, and that Mythos looks amazing. I don't know when it drops, but
let's see, January. So Q1 of next year. It's not bad.
No, it looks
not
sick.
bad. Yeah, it's about 3/4 away, right? So
right, exactly.
Yeah, dude, that thing does look sick though, Riley, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But dude, that's a tough question, man. It really is.
I know.
But guys, we're gonna wrap it there. I want to thank so much to everyone that watched and commented and all that good stuff. So you guys were amazing, and we got to talk about some really good topics tonight. So, is there anything that anyone wants to plug, Riley? I know you have a live stream tonight. Do you want to tell people about that?
Oh yeah, no, I'll be on with KG, and we'll probably have some other people there, maybe my brother at 8:30 PST, but I think that's 11:30 Eastern time. So I'll have a live stream there, so you guys can check us out.
Okay, gotcha. And Riley, if you would tell the people real quick, is it? I'm pretty sure that's Riley Reviews, right, on Instagram.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Riley Reviews. Actually, on Instagram, it's a Z at the end. Because someone took the S, bro. I had the Z at the end.
That happened to me too. Like on Twitch, someone took, I think, WillFoxification, if I remember correctly. So mine's WillFoxy Love on Twitch. I don't know, bro. Somebody wants it. So
someone's impersonating you, bro.
Yeah, I know, man. So, but somebody took it. So, but Carlos, dude, when are you starting your YouTube channel? Because I need to see this.
I don't know. I've thought about it honestly, and then I realized
I
thought about it, and then I realized I have enough money, so I don't want to.
No,
get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Wow. I'm just having Gucci myself, bro.
Kick him out.
Yeah. Nah, but dude, thanks for joining. Is there anything you want to plug, Carlos, or anything? We have a game stream tonight that you'll probably be on, so you know.
Yeah, we're gonna do game stream. I clean my kitchen, so that's kind of cool.
Your pans have never looked better.
Oh, diecast.
Is that a diecast toaster, bro?
It is. It's more than an Iron Man. So
there you go.
The chair, the toaster. Come on now,
dude. I got expensive stuff. I don't know what to say. No, I'm just kidding. No, man, I have nothing because I don't have a YouTube channel. So
Anthony wants me to buy Funko Pops, bro.
Those actually are pretty cool though. If you really
some of them get pretty rare.
Yeah,
they do.
A lot better.
I don't know if he knows this.
I mean,
probably worth more than any hot toy.
Yeah, that's
the rarest Funko Pop is rarer than the rarest hot toy.
Which is interesting that he's recommending it because I thought he wouldn't have recommended that because the quality isn't there. It's not like Marvel Legend, and I know he really loves Marvel Legend.
It's not an Exo 6, bro.
Wow. Dude, can you imagine if Queen was to do an Exo 6, like Exo 6 though?
I know, dude. They got to do the JJ line though. I told Anthony, I was like, where are the Exo 6 JJ Abrams figures? Because that's what people want. So, Yeah. But anyway, thanks so much for joining, guys. I appreciate you all. And yeah, we'll be back next week at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. We have Collectors Mingle Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, there'll be a game stream tonight. I don't know what we're gonna play, but we'll find something to play. Optical should be able to join. So
Nice.
you know,
Oh.
he should be able to
Awesome.
play. So and yeah, it'll be a blast. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining and peace out. And Carlos sucks. Bye.